It's 9 p.m. You've just finished a day of being on, smiling at colleagues, navigating the noise of the office, or managing the endless demands of others. You're exhausted, but it's a specific kind of tired. It's the kind where your skin feels a little too thin and your brain feels like it's buzzing. In this moment, if the phone rings, your heart sinks. If a roommate or a partner asks, "How was your day?" you feel a flash of irrational irritation. You want connection, but you cannot handle the weight of a person. So you pick up the phone, you open a tab, you vanish into a world of pixels, social feeds, or pornography, and suddenly you breathe. Today, we're going to talk about why we do this. We're going to look at why the introverted brain perceives the screen as a sanctuary, while a real human being feels like a threat. To understand why we retreat, we have to talk about what psychologists call cognitive load. When you sit across from a real person, let's say at a coffee shop, your brain isn't just listening to their words. Subconsciously, you are calculating a million variables per second. You are matching their tone, scanning their facial expressions for subtle shifts, and trying to predict when the ping pong of the conversation will return to you. You're wondering, am I making enough eye contact? Did I laugh too long at that joke? Do I look as tired as I feel? This is the social tax. For the deep processor, human interaction is unpredictable. A real person has needs, moods, and the power to reject us in real time. Every interaction is a high-stakes environment where we are on stage. But the screen? The screen is the ultimate controlled intimacy. Whether you are watching a streamer, scrolling through a stranger's life, or engaging with adult content, the interaction is entirely one-sided. You get the warmth of a human face or the thrill of intimacy, but the social tax is zero. The screen doesn't ask anything of you. It doesn't judge your silence, and it doesn't require you to perform. In the dark, behind the glass, your amygdala, the brain's fear center, finally powers down. You aren't necessarily addicted to the content itself. You're addicted to the predictability of the interaction. You're using the pixels to build a wall between your sensitive nervous system and a world that feels like it's constantly asking for more than you have to give. Let's talk about the high-stakes topics we usually avoid. Why do so many introverts turn specifically to things like pornography or digital parasocial relationships? It's because these offer safe vulnerability. In a real relationship, intimacy is messy. It involves the risk of being misunderstood, the awkwardness of physical boundaries, and the terrifying prospect of someone seeing our flaws. For a brain that is already overstimulated, that messiness feels like a threat. Pornography, for instance, provides a biological reward, a hit of dopamine, and a sense of closeness, without the vulnerability of a real partner. It's intimacy without the person. It's connection without the social hangover. It is the ultimate coping mechanism for a mind that is starving for touch, but too exhausted for the person attached to the hand. We use these digital tools to ground ourselves, using a sharp spike of dopamine to drown out the low-grade hum of anxiety and loneliness. We aren't seeking sex, we're seeking a temporary escape from the noise of being human. However, every manual must have a warning. When we consistently choose the safe screen over the messy person, we begin to suffer from something I call emotional atrophy. Because digital intimacy has no friction, our tolerance for real-world friction begins to wither. If the screen is the only place we feel safe, the real world starts to feel even louder and more threatening by comparison. We start to lose our social calluses. Eventually, even the smallest real-life disagreement or the simplest "what's for dinner" feels like a literal assault on our senses. The danger isn't that the screen is evil. The danger is that it's a one-way mirror. We get to see, but we aren't seen. We get to feel, but we aren't felt. Over time, this creates a profound, invisible loneliness, the kind where you're surrounded by thousands of digital faces, yet you feel more alone than if you were standing in an empty field. We aren't just hiding from the world, we're slowly losing the version of ourselves that is capable of being known. I'm not going to tell you to delete your apps, throw your phone into a river, and move to a cabin in the woods. That isn't realistic for our lives, and it doesn't solve the biological need for recharge. Instead, our goal is to move from compulsion to intention. Your reward for today is a strategy I want us to try together. It's called the 10-minute decompression buffer. The next time you walk through your front door after a loud day, or the moment you log off from your final meeting, don't pick up the phone, don't open the tab. I want you to grant yourself 10 minutes of pure solitude. Sit in a chair, sit in the dark. Don't listen to music, don't listen to a podcast, just let the buzzing in your brain exist. This is the time it takes for your prefrontal cortex to catch up with your overstimulated nervous system. Usually, we reach for the screen because we're trying to numb the transition from loud to quiet. If you give yourself the 10-minute buffer, you'll find that the hunger for the screen loses its desperate edge. The goal isn't to never use the screen again, it's to stop using it as an emergency exit. You are a deep processor. Your mind is a sanctuary, not a prison. You deserve connections that are as rich, complex, and real as the inner world you carry. Don't let the glass wall keep you from the very thing you're searching for. I'll see you in the next manual. Let's keep learning to live with the lights on.